Hello everyone, this is Brad Kirst, and I wanted to take just a few minutes and cover how the PowerSchool solution will handle quality points, the adjusted credits table, in the consideration of class rank calculations for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. So first, each course as a part of the PowerSchool solution will be assigned a track, and that track will be considered in the calculation of the class rank. The track is really related to the difficulty of the course within the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. The quality points are assigned to a student for each of those courses by going to a lookup table, that quality points table that's stored at the Archdiocese level where very few people will have access to it. And then also, based upon that lookup, we consider the track of that course, and from that table, and I do have an example of that table that was provided to us, so if I have the grade or the percent that the student receives, we have along the top, we have the tracks of the courses. So for example, if the student received a 95 in their course and the course is a track 1, they will receive 43 quality points for that course. Now on the right hand side, we do see an example of what the building will see, with one exception. The building will not be able to make any adjustments to these values. All of these values will be managed by the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. The course catalog for each of the buildings will be managed at the Archdiocese. Each course catalog can be different for each of the high schools. They can have some courses in common, but that management of the courses that buildings can use will be managed at the Archdiocese of Philadelphia level, and they will not be able to make any modifications. They would have to contact somebody like Betsy or John to make any adjustments if necessary. So that's how the quality point table will be used and looked up related to the course track. The next consideration is the adjustment, the credit adjustment. So this is another table that will be managed at the Archdiocese level with just very few people having access to it. But when we look at the way that the credits are adjusted in consideration with the class rank, so for example, I have a student who has 8 credits during the course of the year perhaps, the solution will look to this table and determine that 0.35 needs to be deducted from those 8 credits. So during the consideration of the class rank, we will be dividing the quality points by 7.65 instead of by 8. So when we look at some of the calculations, and there are more calculations to consider, but this is a good start and gives you an understanding of how we will handle this within PowerSchool. So if I'm looking at a marking period, we are going to take the sum of all of the quality points for the courses the student has taken during that marking period. We will sum the credits, and then we will adjust them based upon the adjusted credit table. And we will take the sum of the quality points divided by the sum of the adjusted credits. Another consideration would be the year-long class rank. So during the year class rank, we will sum each year's quality points, all the courses that the student has received, looking at the track of that course, finding the value on the quality points table and adding them all together. We will look to see how many credits the student earned during the course of that year, and we will adjust that based upon that lookup table. And by taking the sum of the quality points and dividing by the adjusted credits, we will receive a value. Now there are also calculation methods for the semester and especially quarter 3, which is just slightly different, but those will also be considered in the solution that we will provide. So let's take a look at an example. This example, a student receives 6 credits during the marking period. And based upon the grades that the student receives in those courses, or the percentage more specifically, and the track of each of those courses, that again is stored as a part of the course, they will receive a quality point total of 250 quality points. Then the credit adjustment table is looked to. The student receives 6 credits, and from that table we will remove 0.15 from that value, and in the calculation we will use the value of 5.85. So we have the sum of the quality points for the marking period, we divide by the adjusted credits, and the value to be considered for this student in class rank would be 42.735. Another thing that needs to be discussed is, what about those students who are transferring into PowerSchool that have not taken the courses at the Archdiocese of Philadelphia? They've taken them at other institutions. So I have an example. Allie here is a student that just transferred in, and I need to add some courses to her historical grades area. So if I look to the historical grades, which is the student screen that I'm currently on, she has no courses that are stored. Nothing will appear on transcripts or be considered in the class rank calculation. So I need to add some courses. So either the sending school has provided me with a written transcript, or they provided me with a CSV file that I can import into PowerSchool. There are 3 ways. I can hand key them in, one entry at a time. I can also type them in using the multiple entries, which makes it easier to do bulk entries. The last and third way that I can do that is to import them if the school has been kind enough to provide me with a CSV file of all of the historical grades that student received at their institution. So I'm going to use the single entry. Now, it's populating with my high school, but I'm going to say that this is any high school USA. And the school year I'm going to put in, this student received this course last year, let's say, so I'm going to put in a value of 2015. The text on the right is telling me, as I'm entering this, that if I want this course to be associated with the school year of 98-99, I enter the year that the school year began. It makes the data entry easier, so I can type 4 characters instead of 9 with the hyphen. And we'll see that it's stored properly and displayed properly and will display properly on the transcript in just a moment. The store code, I'm going to say that this is semester 1. The grade level will be, let's say, grade 9. The course number, I'm going to enter the course that the student will have taken the course at a different institution. I have courses that it will relate to in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, so I'm going to say that this is Sociology 720. The course name from the other institution is U.S. History, and the teacher's name we're going to say is Mrs. Smith. So that teacher is the teacher who actually taught that student in U.S. History at the previous institution. I'm going to give this student a grade. Let's say that they came over with an A and the percentage was a 99. I can add additional values if I need to. There are some switches on the bottom that can be included on the screen. They can also be removed, whether I'm using the course suppression calculation, which in most cases you probably would not. However, I can also determine whether I want to include or exclude them from certain calculations within PowerSchool and the PowerSchool solution. Again, we can remove these from the bottom. We can modify this screen in any way, but this is the way it looks today. And I'm going to go ahead and submit this change. And now we see an entry. If I would have used multiple entries, I would see maybe 5 or 6. I could enter all of those courses the student took at that other institution. But notice that when I click on the A, I am seeing the proper school year, and I'm seeing the school that the student received this course. I see the course number, the name, and the teacher who taught that student in the U.S. History course at any high school USA. So this is how we are handling the quality points and the quality point calculations for any student who is transferring into the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. And keep in mind that the historical grades, this allows the Archdiocese and the high schools within the Archdiocese of Philadelphia more specifically to map courses appropriately as they're coming in. If you have a high school that you know is doing very good work in U.S. history, you can map it to a similar course that will have a track of 1 or AP. If you know that it's a high school where the U.S. history is very lackluster, then you're going to be able to map that to a course and a course number that would give it a lower value of track. So maybe it might be a track 4 course. And because it's a lower track, then this student's class rank calculation will automatically be adjusted down. and they will have a more appropriate class rank based upon the way that the Archdiocese of Philadelphia considers class rank. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.